Let's take a look at the lives of some of the most successful people in the world who might never have achieved anything if they had allowed their circumstances to define them. Ursula Burns, CEO of Xerox. Raised by a single mother in a New York City housing project, Ursula Burns could have very easily ended up a statistic, but she chose a different route. After graduating high school, she went on to study mechanical engineering at NYU Polytechnic School of Engineering. Burns then gained a master's degree in mechanical engineering from Columbia University. At the age of 22, she was hired as an intern for Xerox. Once she'd completed her degree, Ursula was hired as a full-time employee. She became the executive assistant and was later promoted to the vice president for global manufacturing. In 2009, Ursula Burns became the CEO of Xerox. She's also on the board of directors of several companies, including American Express Corporation, ExxonMobil Corporation, and Datto, Inc. Burns also provides leadership counsel to nonprofit organizations and was appointed by Barack Obama as the vice chair of the President's Export Council. Forbes has several times given her the accolade of one of the 100 most powerful women in the world. Leslie Les Brown, motivational speaker. Les Brown is probably my favorite person on this list. I've been listening to him for years. His story is just so inspiring. Les Calvin Brown is a twin. He and his brother were born in one of the most dangerous areas in Miami, Liberty City. Their mother gave birth to them on the floor of an abandoned building. She was married to a soldier who had been deployed, so when she got pregnant from another man, she was forced to give the children up for adoption to prevent her husband from finding out. Les Brown and his brother were adopted at 6 weeks of age by Mamie Brown, a 38-year-old domestic cleaner and cafeteria cook. His adoptive mother was terribly poor, but Brown and his brother were loved unconditionally. He credits his success to the confidence Mamie Brown had in him. She always believed her son would one day become somebody great, despite his disabilities. In the 5th grade, he was labeled educably mentally retarded. He didn't do very well in high school, and his teachers didn't believe he would ever amount to anything. Unfortunately, he accepted the label he'd been given, and he suffered from low self-esteem. In many of his speeches, Brown talks about one of the defining moments in his life. He was asked by a speech and drama instructor called Leroy Washington to write something on the blackboard. Les responded to the teacher saying that he wasn't able to do it because he was educably mentally retarded. Washington told Brown never to refer to himself like that again and to go ahead and write on the blackboard because he had the ability to do anything he put his mind to. It was at this moment that his life changed because he started to believe that he really could achieve anything he put his mind to. Les Brown just managed to graduate from high school, but he didn't go to college because he was determined to fulfill his lifelong dream of becoming a disc jockey. After much perseverance, he was eventually hired by one of the most prominent radio stations in the United States. Unfortunately, due to his controversial topics of conversation and his refusal to apologize for the things he said that listeners found offensive, he was fired. But losing his job ended up being a blessing in disguise, and his mentor at the time, Mike Williams, who saw his great potential to become an international speaker, encouraged him to run for the Ohio legislature. He won. In the 1980s, he started working as a motivational speaker. All he had was a suitcase of clothes and a tape of his speeches. He couldn't afford an apartment, so he rented an office, slept on the floor, and washed in the bathroom sink. Les Brown spent his time reading books and studying the most successful motivational speakers. He started off speaking to grade school students, and within 4 years, he had been awarded the National Speaker Association's Council of Peers Award of Excellence. Today, Les Brown is known as one of the most impactful motivational speakers in the world. Andrew Carnegie, Steel Tycoon. Andrew Carnegie was born and raised in Scotland. He was the son of a poor hand-loom weaver, and he was raised in terrible poverty. His most prominent childhood memories are of sleeping to rid himself of hunger pains. At the age of 13, his family moved to America. To help with the bills, Carnegie worked for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, as a bobbin boy, changing thread in a cotton mill. He went on to work as a messenger boy for the telegraph and got promoted to an operator. Carnegie loved to read, and every Saturday he was given access to the personal library of Colonel James Anderson. It was during this time that he learned the information that would eventually help him turn his life around. He later went to work on the railroads and became very familiar with the transport industry. His business acumen also grew substantially. He started investing in steel and made his money back tenfold. By 1889, he was the owner of Carnegie Steel Corporation, which became the largest steel company in the world. He was bought out by J.P. Morgan in 1901 for $480 million, and then went on to establish several foundations, including the Carnegie Mellon University. When Andrew Carnegie died in 1919, he was known as a generous philanthropist and the richest man in the world. Kenny Troutt, founder of Excel. Kenny Troutt came from a poor family. His father was a bartender, and Kenny was forced to work from a young age to help sustain the household. Desperate to get out of the cycle of poverty, he managed to finish school and go to college, where he paid his fees by selling insurance. After graduation, he co-founded Excel with his business partner, Steve Smith. Within 9 years, the company had earned billions of dollars in revenue, and Excel became the fastest-growing company in the United States. Lakshmi Mittal, Steel Tycoon. Lakshmi Mittal is the CEO and chair of the steel company ArcelorMittal. He's one of the world's most successful billionaires and has helped put the steel industry on the global map. He was raised in a poor Indian family. The first years of his life were spent living with his extended family in a house built by his grandfather. He slept on beds made from rope and hard floors. His father scraped enough money together to move to Calcutta and start a steel business, where Mittal was employed after graduating from college. It was here that he learned about the steel industry and later went on to start his own company. Reports suggest that he is now worth more than $12 billion. Leonardo del Vecchio, Italian businessman. After his father died, Leonardo's mother was forced to put him in an orphanage because she couldn't afford to look after him and her other 4 children. He was later employed by a factory that made eyeglass frames and molds of auto parts. Del Vecchio opened his own molding shop at the age of 23. His company eventually became the largest maker of sunglasses and prescription eyewear, including Oakley and Ray-Ban. I think you get my point. Now, go ahead and take personal accountability for your life, and then get yourself an accountability partner to help take you to the next level. As you've heard, there are plenty of people who have succeeded despite not having the best start in life. Your level of success isn't dependent upon your circumstances. It's a mindset that you need to cultivate. The Les Browns and Leonardo del Vecchios of this world could have used their upbringing as an excuse for failure, but instead, they chose to drop the victim mentality and use their adversity as a stepping stone for greatness. And you can too. This has been Habits for Success: How to Change Your Life One Step at a Time. Written by Daniel Walter, narrated by Russell Newton. Copyright 2022 by Daniel Walter. Production copyright 2022 by Daniel Walter.